You're locked into the NFL on EA Sports.
Appreciate you, Coach. One of the great venues to watch a game in any sport and one of the best home crowds in any sport, Soldier Field in Chicago. Today, it's a black and blue matchup in the NFC North between the Minnesota Vikings and the Chicago Bears. Fall is in the air, and the NFL season is in full swing, and we're underway here in Week 4. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. So here are the Bears now for their opening drive. They'll be led out by their 6'4" quarterback, the former #1 overall pick in 2015, Jameis Winston.
And it's funny how we always talk about how analytics are starting to creep into the game. One analytic that's been there for a long time, teams that start 0-3 usually don't make the playoffs. So we know one quarterback today that's determined to end that slide right now. It's not impossible, but this is a must-win for him and his team.
A first down throw for Winston. Open man is Trey Burton. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That'll wind up a gain of 27 on the catch and run.
But when you hit him on the move like that, and he's able to get into open field with a full head of steam, oh boy, it's going to be tough to get him down.
Yeah, there was a big window. They're lucky they did get him down. Now it's the all-purpose back. This is Darren Sproles. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 13.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
On play action, Winston. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd. And, Charles, now we get our first look at this offense.
And one guy you have to look at in particular is Kyle Long. Can play guard or tackle with a nice degree of nastiness.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. From the gun, Winston. Oh, he almost picked it. Nearly a turnover there on their opening drive. That's a throw he'd like to have back. Now 4th down. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
So on 4th down, on is the punter, Pat O'Donnell, to kick it away. This is away and a very good kick, angled for the sidelines. Out of bounds and close. The question, was it a touchback? No. They'll say it crossed out at the 2-yard line. Excellent placement, and off that bounce, Charles, I didn't know where it was going to go. It can be an inexact science as to where they place it, but they say the 2-yard line.
Yeah, I don't know how they really determined that. And let's face it, at the end of that play, one side's going to be happy, the other team's going to be unhappy. So what do they do, shorten the hypotenuse? I mean, how do they figure that out? You know that stuff. You're the smart guy.
Oh, that's you, partner. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short. Here's a give to Madison running right. And he'll lose yardage and be down at the 7-yard line. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Cousins now. And he's got Kyle Rudolph. And they're going to get the first down here as he's up to the 14. Cousins to his tight end Rudolph for a Viking first down.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play.
And hit behind the line. He lost the football. It's loose. And this is picked up by the Bears. And they'll have a short field to work with inside the 15 at the 13-yard line. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. He didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, let's just give credit to where it belongs. Knocked it free, made a big play.
Now a play fake here on first down. And he'll go down. Brought down at the 20-yard line. Partner, we had their game last week where they had 6 sacks, so a little bit more momentum here again in the first quarter.
And last week it appeared that they were coming out of sprinters blocks, chasing the quarterback. So how do they continue that? How do they keep making it happen? Different looks, different disguises, different angles that they chase it.
It was so disruptive last week. We'll see what the trend is here as we go forward. Here now the starters defensively for the Vikings. They played really well in the win over the Raiders a week ago.
And it was the pass rush that really keyed their victory. Got to the quarterback 6 times for sacks and plenty of other turbulence in the pocket for him as well.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. From the shotgun, it's Winston. This one into the hands of Burton. And he's going to come up well shy of the first here as the tackle's made right around the 12. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
So they recovered the fumble, but ultimately could not take advantage of the short field.
Definitely a lost opportunity right there. I mean, they were in prime position to put 6 on the board. Ended up settling for 3.
This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal? And they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive. A little more pep in their step because it didn't cost their team a touchdown. But they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach will be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield, punch in the end zone without turning it over.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. So line of scrimmage still the 39 on 2nd and 10.
Under 10, 10. Check, crunch. Run.
On 2nd down, this is Madison. Give him 4 on the ground there. They're now left with 3rd and 6.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half, maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
This is complete. Cousins to Treadwell. Cousins able to connect with Treadwell for a Minnesota first.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. Stephon Diggs, his intended receiver. That'll bring up 2nd down.
One thing I have learned, receivers don't mind high throws so much to the sideline, but do that over the middle to them, and not only the DB's going to throw their verbal trash their way, when they get back to the huddle, they're going to have a few words to say to their QB, aren't they?
Yeah, hung out to dry a little bit there on the high throw. Luckily fell incomplete. He'll get 15 and a Vikings first down.
Now, that's often a surprise for the defensive guys when they see the big fella slide out of the backfield and catch the ball. Not something they usually go over in practice very often.
Here's Madison running on first down. A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31. The numbers for him from a week ago: 12 carries, 52 yards.
And to me, the goal is the exact same thing as last week. Get him the ball early and often. I think he's got another big game in him in this one.
From the 31, Cousins. And this one to Treadwell, complete. And inside the 20 before he's brought down.
That looked like a pretty good route combination there, because you've got to find a way to clear the guy running the drag, because when you do, you just put the ball on him and then let him run.
Yeah, he's got some space. Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Going on the ground with Madison. And he'll get this down only to the 18. Only a yard on the pickup there, so it leaves them needing a conversion here on 3rd and a tough 9.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
And this one hauled in by Rudolph. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
And in a lot of ways, that catch is expected. Red zone presence, and that one was realized there. You've got to find your tight end in that situation.
And not a whole lot there. He does get a couple, taking it from the 5 down to the 3.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see. Offensive lines had to pass block a lot on this drive. Will they be able to revert?
And he will take this one into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. C.J. Ham, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Vikings have taken the lead. Well, it was 2nd and goal. You're in there close. That's the fullback's comfort zone.
Not only is it his comfort zone, it's an expectation. That's what he's supposed to do. Turn and hand it to him. Big guys fire out. Find your way into the end zone.
Bailey now to kick this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. A reminder coming up tonight, a tough ticket in New Orleans. The Cowboys in town to take on the Saints on Sunday Night Football. And tomorrow night, Charles and I, we go to Pittsburgh. Bengals and Steelers, two teams, well, they don't like each other very much. That's well documented. That starts at 8:15 Eastern as we close out the month of September. First down, Winston. He's got his man. That's Josh Gordon. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line.
And Anthony Barr just has it all as far as I'm concerned in terms of physique, athletic ability, and now he's versatile as well. When he came out of UCLA, he played outside linebacker, but also down defensive end. The Vikings can utilize the same sort of skills.
Jameis to throw it. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
So here are the Vikings to take over. They were winners last week, defeating the Raiders, and right now they're in the driver's seat here as they start off 1st and 10. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Throwing is Cousins. A 50-50 ball here, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 38, and they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line.
Offensively, when you see cover two, the thought has to go through the quarterback's head. Drive the football when making throws. It's not just the deep guys covering. It's the guys underneath you have to be careful of. Drive your throw. Otherwise, you see what results? Interceptions.
The first play of the drive there is incomplete. They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10. Now it's a bootleg with Winston. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Kentrell Brothers gets him for a loss of 10 yards from his linebacker spot. 3rd and long for Winston. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Say hello to Eric Kendricks. He gets the sack there.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And he gets it away. A directional kick going toward the sideline.
We play to win. Let's go.
Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. And last time, one play interception. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling. Because a one play...
Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. And that one results in 35 yards.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great, and what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big game. And he won't get much. Maybe a couple. Down inside the 35 to the 34. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
Let's go. You tighten up. Watch it between. Watch it between. Two.
Cousins to throw it. And Diggs has it. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 10 yards, and it's good for a Viking first down. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does. Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
And the pressure too much that time as Cousins goes down. Eddie Goldman with a sack.
Enough takes to start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
3rd and long for Cousins. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down. So instead of giving them another 3rd down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
So that's a 7-play drive that ultimately stalls out there at the end.
And things were a little leaky in the beginning on that drive, weren't they? But how about the front 7? As they got closer to the goal line, things stiffened a little bit, forced the field goal.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And a look now at the game so far for Jameis Winston. And he has not really been able to have a lot of comfort back there in the pocket. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. Just a lone field goal for them so far, trailing 10-3 as they come up 1st and 10. They'll begin the drive with Sproles. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down. 2nd and 6, just inside the 30. Now Winston. That's complete to the Memphis man, Anthony Miller. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack.
Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage because they are dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going to combat that? You know, people say bring in your tight end, keep him in. Your running backs, they have to step forward. Bottom line, your offensive line has to block them first to give yourself a chance.
3rd and 15 here after the first and second down plays went in the wrong direction. Here's Winston. He's got his tight end, Burton. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 41-yard line. Now Winston, nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now Jameis trying to hurry his crew to the line. Throwing on 2nd and long. Winston, he's got Burton here. Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a tick under a minute to go before half.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime. Here's Pat O'Donnell now as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. He gets us away. It's a good one, drawing toward the sidelines. And it's out of bounds. Now we'll see what the side judge says. He says out at the 8-yard line. The field position game, such an overlooked facet, Charles, of an NFL game. But this offense, they're going to be pinned back. What an ideal punt.
An ideal punt, and it leads to that term complementary football. Because them doing that puts their defense in a great spot, doesn't it? Gives them a chance. If they want to be aggressive, try and maybe get a safety out of this whole thing, it puts them in that position.
9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. From the 17. Cousins, it's complete to Diggs. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half. Cousins now to throw on first down. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. The Vikings going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with 14 seconds to go in this first half. Cousins now hitting on 2/3 of his passes, 10 for 15 so far. 1st and 10. He's got it complete to Diggs, right side. Six yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Cousins now from the 50. He completes it to Treadwell. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. All right, folks, eager to get back to this Week 4 matchup. We won't put up a fight. The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half.
Let's go.
Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the 3rd. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ballgame.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. And he comes back with one complete. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to fourth down. Cousins in the offense is going to stay out there. They're going to try on fourth down. Now, meanwhile, they go for it on fourth down, and my goodness, incomplete. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. So nursing a slim lead, and that is the opposite of protecting that slim lead.
All I can think here is that head coach, he knows more about what's going on with his team than we do. He must know something's up.
Oh, it springs free. Montgomery loses it. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, and that could have been trouble.
All I can say about this play is that someone's living right. I mean, he's trying to gain yardage, trying to get upfield. Ball comes free. What's that panic that we've talked about oftentimes that you feel when you lose the ball?
You can sense it.
Oh, you can sense it. And somehow he got to it and was able to recover it for his squad.
Personal foul, face mask, defense.
So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
Off the play fake, Winston. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Kentrell Brothers able to get in there for his second sack of the afternoon. Offensively, they're going to have to figure this out before next week. 7 sacks in one game.
Yeah, and that's more than any quarterback should have to bear. And if this continues on, there will be another quarterback in the game because no one can stand up to this week after week.
That backs him up 1 yard and brings up third down. And now they're looking for 19 yards here on third down following 2 negative plays. It's complete. It's Miller. Oh, and they had him stopped short of the first, but a penalty marker down. And that looked like a clear face mask to me. So instead of forcing the field goal, it'll be first and goal.
Yeah, the force was trying to make something happen that just didn't need to, right? I mean, the plays happen, let it go. It's over.
The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Anthony Barr, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. Now from the 9, here's second and goal. Here's Winston. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Anthony Barr, make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
Okay, let's go back a little bit and see if my schooling comes to the front. What's that old saying? Those who forget the lessons of history are doomed to repeat them. That's the same guy who's gotten back-to-back sacks. I think a double team may be in order.
And Winston lost the football.
Holding, offense.
So they decline it as that will bring up fourth.
And I know that yardage and field position are keys to any game played, but you've got to consider downs when you're talking about penalties, and they wisely did not take that one and made it fourth down.
So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays that when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point's not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And on that last drive, went for it on fourth, turned it over. A good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on fourth down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here, because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3.
And the pressure too much that time as Cousins goes down. Akeem Hicks at 6'5", 332 finds his way home for the sack. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
It's caught by Treadwell. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up fourth.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10. Winston now to throw on 1st down. Completes it to Miller. Now 2nd and 7 from the 23. Now it's Sproles. Takes this up just short of the 30, but he was able to avoid that earlier tackle. Nice move. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a 1st down. They're able to convert with a gain of 4.
I know the game's changed. A lot of people would say it's evolved. Look, I'm a little bit Neanderthal, okay? I love this. No exotic formations, no misdirection. Just line up and run the darn ball, pick up the 1st down. I love it.
Yeah, 3rd and short, that's what you're supposed to do. Like you said, old school, smash mouth football.
Part of the thinking when you bring in extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. You know what the converse is, though? You've got to win those one-on-one.
Blitz coming, and down he goes. Anthony Barr in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him. 1st and 2nd down were a disaster. Both went backwards. Now it's 3rd and 18. They need something big. Working out of the gun, Winston. And he's going to go down again. Kentrell Brothers getting him once again, his 3rd sack of the afternoon.
Well, certainly some teams are not intimidated by down and distance on defense, are they? 3rd and very long? Let's go get this guy again. Big-time pressure.
This is fielded at the 27. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And they've got the lead here getting late into the 3rd quarter. And the passing game for them, it's been terrific. We've seen that. But the rushing game, almost non-existent.
And with the lead and trying to finish this game off, they need the running game to come back to life. They need to get sparked that way, take some time off the clock, and keep the ball away from their opponents.
Back now at Soldier Field. It's the Vikings in possession of the football and the lead. They'll be looking to add to that total as we begin quarter number 4. Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete. It was Roquan Smith who got his big hand in there to knock it away. The Vikings on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 11. Working out of the gun, Cousins. Open man is Thielen. It's complete. 19 yards that time for number 19. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
Cousins on target to Diggs. A gain of 6 there on 1st. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Running from the shotgun with Madison. He's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
Now, obviously, that's some good work there defensively, being able to stop them and bring up a key 3rd down. But if you're on the offensive side of the ball, there's an opportunity because I know what defensive guys are thinking right now. Just stop them, get to the ball. That means they might not be sound defensively. There could be some opportunities.
And you said key 3rd down. Highlight that word. Put it in bold. Here we go.
Let's go, D. Let's go. Hey, let's get there. Slam.
They're going for it. Here's Madison. And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the 1st. They only needed a few inches, and they didn't get much more than that, but by about the width of a shoelace, they convert on 4th down. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. Now Cousins. Left side caught by Diggs. That's a gain of 4 here in the 4th quarter with them leading by 4 on the scoreboard. 4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Cousins. That's complete to the receiver, Thielen. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. 7 yards there and a 1st down. Cousins going to come up on a 1st and 10. And he's 6 of 7 now on this drive.
Check nickel.
Now a give, right side. Boom. Akeem Hicks that time on the tackle. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Yeah, think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
So 1st and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up. Cousins. To the end zone, but it's incomplete. He was looking for Adam Thielen there. But it'll be 2nd and goal. Another shot from the 9 on 2nd and goal.
Yellow.
To throw is Cousins. This is caught, and he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Adam Thielen, his 1st touchdown on the year. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. Extra point up and good by Bailey. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. So that one a 13-play drive in total. And it's polished off by a Vikings score. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now the Bears coming out as they get ready. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
And all the way down to the 24-yard line.
Let's go, baby.
It's a big-time play there for the Bears. 51 yards. So barely time to catch our breath. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the red zone. From the gun, Winston. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Anthony Barr has now recorded 10 sacks on the season. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out, you see, and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to Matt.
And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. Anthony Miller, his 1st touchdown on the year, as his guys are back within a single score. And that is the definition of yards after catch. They go short on the pass, and the receiver does the rest.
Seems so harmless, doesn't it? To throw it underneath a short pass like that. But boy, it gets dangerous in the hands of the right receiver as he makes a move and takes it the distance.
This is taken at the 3. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. And now we move our focus to Stephon Diggs. And the stats on his game, they really tell the story. A strong start. I don't know that the defense has really changed a whole lot as opposed to maybe just sticking to that game plan and shutting him down now. I
like where you're going with that because normally we talk about adjustments and drastic changes in a game plan in order to shut someone down. But in this case, maybe they're just sticking with what they worked on all week, and they're just making better plays. And so far, they've got to like what they've been doing in the second half.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. Here's Cousins. And his throw's going to be incomplete. By the way, I got to apologize because I just realized for about the last 4 or 5 plays, I'm eking over into your territory up here in the booth. My bad. I'm going to get back over to my spot.
Yeah, we're not talking about our on-air commentary. I mean, what is all this extra paper? I mean, this is unusual for you.
My bad.
Normally you run a really tight ship. What's going on here?
Just like that incomplete pass, I'm going to try to tighten things up here for this next play. A good pickup there, 18 yards as they get closer for third down.
It's a nice completion, a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you? You give them 5 yards there, and it's enough for the first. Hasn't been his best afternoon on the ground, far from it, but a critical third down conversion.
His afternoon just got better. All right, you're exactly right. Hasn't been his best in terms of yardage, but that run there, that's the one your teammates look to you and go, okay, that's what we want from you, that's what we need. Now they have a chance to keep moving forward and a chance to win the game.
Well, with the fumble he had earlier, we know how key keeping the football is here. That fumble earlier probably at the forefront of his mind. Just hold on to this thing.
It's also at the forefront of the mind of the guys who are trying to get the ball from him. And since they've seen him drop it on the ground before, they're doing everything possible to have him do it again. They need that turnover.
A gain of just a yard, but it's a first down. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Cousins now. Now look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off by Khalil Mack. Less than 2 to play with just a field goal separating these two sides. So the Bears with the football here as we welcome you back. They come up on a 1st and 10, desperately needing a score here on what could be their final drive. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Anthony Barr in there to take him down, and the clock will roll. He'll look to throw, and it's knocked away and incomplete. Trey Burton, the one he was looking for, and it'll bring up 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. He's back to throw, and he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. One score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. Winston to throw for it on 4th. That's complete. It's Gordon. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. They keep the game alive, at least for the moment, as it's a 1st down. This is caught by Robinson. And that'll be good for 8 yards to the 45. Now Jameis trying to hurry his crew to the line. Winston to throw. He's going to let it fly. This is caught at the 20. And mark him down all the way inside the Minnesota 10. Now the Bears going to use the second of their timeouts as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this 4th quarter. Only way to get the lead here, of course, with a touchdown. And that's what they're gunning for on 1st and goal. Delayed give to Sproles. And that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up 2nd down. This one into the hands of Burton. And a pretty little juke move there on a nice game. And a timeout coming in. This will be their final one with 10 seconds remaining. So now one of the biggest kicks of the night is forthcoming. This to potentially send us to overtime. And his kick is indeed good. And they will tie this game here in the final seconds. So a money kick there in the final seconds. And now, barring any hijinks on the kickoff here, partner, I think you and I, we're going to settle in for a little overtime.
And I wouldn't have it any other way. This has been a dogfight all through regulation. No reason to think it won't continue in the extra period.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Tie game, and barring something incredible here, we're likely headed to overtime.
And just a couple of scenarios here to keep in mind. One, if you want to be really aggressive,
And that is intercepted by the All-Pro safety, Eddie Jackson. And what an effort on the final play of regulation. All zeros on the clock, and we are headed to OT. Boy, Charles, what a critical call in a tie game late.
You want to have the tight coverage. You don't want to cause the penalty. Pass interference in this case. Remember, it's a yardage foul in the NFL, a spot foul where it occurs.
59. Here we go, 48. Let's go. Check. Lucky. Watch the eye. Check it back.
Cousins to throw. Trying to lay one up deep. And that'll wind up incomplete. Trying to give his man room to run under it, but it's second down. It's a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team to score wins, but no longer. Now, if the team receives the ball, scores a touchdown, they win the game. If they kick a field goal, though, or don't score, the other team gets a possession. And after both teams get a possession, then we're into sudden death. First team to score wins the game.
So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field. They control their own destiny here. They have the football in overtime. Obviously, a touchdown would win it.
And I think teams around the league are still adjusting to the idea of going downfield, scoring a touchdown wins the game, because they were used to just going downfield and trying to get in field goal range to win a game. Still having to make that transition. Let's face it now, the ones who are doing it best know they need to go down, attack, put the ball in the end zone, and not leave it up to a field goal and give the other team a chance.
As we said, they control their own destiny now. Following the penalty, Montgomery. And an alley to run. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. 18 yards on that one, and Chicago has the first. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Sproles. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. That one 28 yards on the ground. Now the first throw in overtime for Winston. And he's into the end zone for the touchdown and the game winner in OT. Now, partner, a great game that we got to see, and making it extra special. Not only did I get 4 quarters with